You in the brig for what you've done, but I won't do it.
Talking Dicks Comedy Podcast, the podcast that spun off from the web series The Two Dicks, which is about 1950s detectives when they were politically incorrect and you didn't get canceled. So now we have this. That's Al Romas with the Beatles behind him. I'm Al Ducharme. I think Al is in Tampa and I'm in Nassau, Bahamas. Is that correct, Al? All of that information?
It is incorrect, sir.
You're in Port Charlotte?
I'm in Punta Gorda today.
Oh,
Punta.
That's right. Punta
Gorda. I'm at the hotel. This is the Monday pod, but we're recording it earlier in the week. You're on the ship. I'm at the hotel in Punta Gorda doing shows at the Vasani's Comedy Theater. Tonight's the first show. Tonight, tomorrow, Friday, to Saturday. And I'm even doing a private show for our buddy Joe. That wasn't specified in the writer, and there was no writer. And I'm doing a noon show for his company, which I did last year too. You know, and we'll see how it goes.
Here's a coincidence for you. That's Joe Targia, who's one of our cigar buddies.
Yes.
He lives in Fort Myers, but he is on this cruise right now, and I've spent some time hanging out with Joe. We smoked a couple of sticks. We're trying to smoke one today, but I think I got too much going on. I'm gonna have to skip out.
Small world, indeed. I mean, think about all the ships, all the people, and then there's Joe, who I'm doing a show for Friday on a ship with you. There in, where are you? Nassau, Bahama.
Nassau, New Providence, the bigger island, I think.
Okay. And yeah, that's kind of interesting. My background today, if you're on patreon.com/the2dicks, that's the rooftop concert, the Beatles. So this week, if you're listening Monday, it starts Thursday. Now we all know, I mean, F is for family, but also if you're so inclined, on Disney Plus, there'll be 6 hours of unseen footage from 1969. And I've seen the clip. I saw the 60 Minutes piece last week and the coloring, and it looks like it was filmed last week. I mean, the quality is unbelievable. If you're into that.
I don't know if they did any digital restoring of the stuff, but this stuff was filmed in the 50 to 70 millimeter on that rooftop concert.
52 years ago.
It's so good. It is so darn good. This concert right there, just that clip. I'm looking forward to the documentary as well. It's going to be a double feature for the beginning of season 5, the finale season of F is for Family, also being released on Gobble Day.
All our listeners will start with F is for Family and go into Get Back, on Thanksgiving.
Get back to F is for Family.
See, if they were smart, that would be a trailer right now running on Netflix. You know, you could have the cartoon characters on the rooftop singing that song kind of thing. That would have been a nice tie-in for the F is for Family guys.
That would have been viral right there.
That would have been pretty good. But yeah, that's your season 5, and that's it, huh? This is it. I'm reading, hearing, and people seem upset. They're sad.
They are. Well, they're upset because, you know, they're tied. They're big fans. They're tied into it. It's a serial program. You know, a lot of the stories pick up what the last one did, which is unusual for animation. It's very hard to do it that way as well. It becomes like it's almost like you're doing a real, it is a real sitcom, even though it's animated, but you're doing it in that the order, you know, the chronological order. It's just
serial. You don't hear that term anymore for shows. Serial.
You hear serial killer.
S-E-R, right? S-E-R, serial. That wouldn't go. That's not C. I'm just asking you a question. You seem confused. Whenever I ask questions, sometimes a lot of times you freeze and you look confused. You're not freezing, but
you confuse me because I don't know what you're doing.
Serial.
I don't know if you're
serial. I'm asking a question.
I don't know if you're saying I'm mispronouncing it.
Well, no, you're not. No, it's interesting.
No, I'm not. It's the same sound.
We have
right?
cereal for breakfast with a C.
And
shows in a succession with serials. And then you have serial killers. Like, you know, what the hell? 3 completely different meanings, one word. That's what I'm saying. And I hadn't heard it serially used in a long time.
That's the English language for you.
I don't care for it.
I know you don't. It's that Latin thing that screwed us up.
I tried to write TDCP volume 159 on you can't even see my cup because of the background. I didn't bring a mug. Oh, there it is. I'm drinking Hotel Keurig coffee with powder creamer. Oh, yeah.
Well, it's tough.
It is.
That's
tough.
When you're in a jam, that's what you do. But that's a tough one.
I'm in a jam, fella. Yeah, I'm in a jam, fella.
Well, I like the effort of you actually writing on the cardboard cup.
That was quite an effort.
That's quite an effort. Yes. He said, "I'm going to do something just to have something to talk about."
Exactly.
It's not even marker. It's like pen.
Content, buddy.
It's that pen that doesn't even write it. By the time you get to the last letter of what you're writing, it kicks out because it's a hotel pen.
This is Well, this one is from the Borgata. Comics, you steal everything. This is the Borgata pen.
Oh, that's from last year.
Which I now have from 2 years ago, I think.
2 years ago.
And it still writes. Goddamn, nice pen. I was in New York last weekend. Long Island.
I know you attended a wedding.
I intended John Consoli's daughter, not me.
You married John Consoli's daughter. There's an age difference.
And then I was killed right after the ceremony. He fucking shot me.
He offed you. And this is your ghost.
That wouldn't fly. That wouldn't be. I don't think he'd be cool with that. So we were hanging out at the house Friday night. The wedding was Saturday. Beautiful wedding outside in November on Long Island. Tornado at 4:30 in the afternoon.
What?
Ceremony at 6:30. Yes. We're sitting in the car trying to check into the hotel. We couldn't even get out of the car. It was hail, heavy rain, frigid temperatures. And then an hour and a half later, 2 hours, it cleared up. They had the ceremony. It was cold. It's cold as shit, but got them married. Then we moved it inside and began, consuming alcohol. And it was fantastic.
I mean, it's always a risk to have an outdoor wedding.
Very much.
But especially in this time, fall in the Northeast.
Yeah.
But the tornado thing, holy cow.
Well, this one was pushed back a year because of COVID. So they didn't really want November, but that was what opened, and they didn't want to wait another 8 months for the summer or something. So they wanted to get married already. And but I had a great weekend there. And it was interesting. I was hanging out with John at his house, and we started talking about, for some goddamn reason, manscaping, the whole manscaping thing.
I have brought this up on our podcast, and you've shut me down about it. And it's uncomfortable. It's dumb. It's uncomfortable for you to talk about.
Well, he has a whole.
You say you don't partake because it's not an issue. I say that I'm a third Portuguese. It's an issue. I have foliage. I got a weed whacker. I got it all. But go ahead.
Well, no, he has a whole thing with. He's got a whole.
We all have that.
He has a whole thing with it's called a groundskeeper. That's the name of the thing he's got. The groundskeeper. And then he keeps then he's like, what about the balls? I go, what do you mean? He goes, well, how do you keep them clean? I go, I don't know. I shower. There's a fucking bug flying around here. I go, I shower. And he goes, really? But you don't clean them up? And I go, no, I don't know what you mean. And he has he brought it out and he got a thing called dude wipes. Dude wipes. Keeping the sack clean, and he goes through a whole process. This guy, I tell you, he really cares.
I've
impressed.
purchased the dude wipes or similar.
Have you really?
When on Amazon when it says 50% off, I grabbed them and tried them out a couple of times. I enjoyed them the first time, so I did it again.
Are you talking about ball wipes? Or is this
instead of all the above.
Yeah.
All the above. Yeah. It's kind of it does it all. You start from,
because I've had those
you got to go in the right direction, because you don't want to take anything from one place and bring it to the other.
And do you have the groundskeeper?
I do not, but I purchased something else made by Philips. It's particularly made for that thing. But there's a mini blade. Yeah, Phillips screwdriver.
Yeah. Ouch. That's old school manscaping.
Very old school.
Yeah.
It's chisel and a screwdriver, a small hammer. No, it's made specifically for it, but you have to put this guard on it. And then when you're doing it, you feel like the guard's not really getting where you want.
Ooh.
So you pop the guard off, and then you do it, and it goes right down past the flesh. And don't do that.
Jesus Christ, sir.
There's a lot. Then you got to put the wipes on it, the disinfectant wipes, and there's stinging involved.
You might want to invest in the groundskeeper. This sounds like the way to go. John's an Italian guy. He's hairy and shit. He's probably got that groundskeeper, and has I think a light on it. You can do it in the shower.
They should be our sponsor. I mean,
I wish they would.
Dick's Comedy Podcast brought to you by the groundskeeper.
It really
you want to keep the grounds kept.
It's a natural. And by the way, not the sponsor part, but if anybody follows us on Twitter, we are blowing up Twitter, folks. We gained about 80 followers in the last 3 days. So that
was great. Yeah,
we're grabbing them.
Nation is retweeted us, and that was nice. We held also Vulture did last month. That was a nice little shout out. That we grabbed some more followers there as well. And a lot of people are hinting about being on. I can tell when the comedians start hinting about coming on, and they start talking about your podcast, and you're like, you've never mentioned it before.
No, and
I've invited certain people on, and they've declined, and then they see we had all these bigger acts. Now they all want to be on.
Right.
But it's hard for us unless you and I are actually home. It's difficult to have a guest.
Yes, and I think it works better if we know the guy well, but maybe not. I don't know. We had Mark Norman on. That was we'd never met him, and that worked out fine. So my theory on that is out the window. I was going to say it's better when we know him, but that was fucking dumb. So you're on the cruise now. When this is so you're home when this is airing Monday. You're home.
I'll be home. No, I'm going to be home for a short stint, almost like overnight, and then I travel again and stay overnight in Cape Canaveral, and then I will get on the Harmony of the Seas for a week.
Where do you fly home from this cruise? Where do you leave?
I'm going to fly from Miami to Los Angeles. I'm going to have date night with a gal, and then we actually have a gig that we're doing in Palm Springs on Friday.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And then off I go again.
Out on Saturday?
That's why we're doing this one so far in advance.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's hard. I mean, you can hear, people might be able to hear some background and go, what is that? That's, what is that, Alfred? It's above you.
I'm actually up in the, what they used to call the buffets on cruise ships, but they're pretty kind of tricked out and elegant and clean looking. Very modernized. I'll give you a look. Ready? Let me
Patreon.com.
Spin it.
You want to see it?
Yeah, if you're a Patreon member, you get to see this.
Oh,
so
wow.
it's very nice. This just came out of dry dock too.
Yeah, it looks nice.
They put a lot of ships in dry dock during the pandemic. It was a great time to do it. They could take their time and do it right.
And I like I like being served the food instead of everyone touching all the tongs, and I think that system should have been that way years ago. It moves it along. You just point at what you want. And,
you just point. I'll have one of these, and they do it quickly because I noticed that some of the passengers are super slow. They have the spoon in their hand. They're looking around. They start talking to the person next to them. They're holding the implement that you want to put your hand on, but you don't have to touch that now. And
no touching of implements.
It's quicker. And I think it's more efficient.
Much more efficient, and
it's a little bit more prison-like, but
well, but you know what, I like it, and it's the whole thing with this after COVID. If you notice, like, I don't mind. It's a pain in the neck wearing the mask in the airport, but I really don't mind because then no one's getting a cold anymore. The mask on the plane. They were wearing them. They were wearing them. Asian people. You're Asians.
A lot of Asians were wearing them, but I noticed people were wearing them anyways, and I just assumed that they had cancer.
Right.
But they just didn't want to get a cold. The common.
It makes sense though. It makes sense. When you think of it, the person next to you is you don't know who they are. Are they clean? Whatever. They're wearing a mask now. It's not a bad thing. And for the ship, I think it just works better on that buffet line. And the only thing that my pet peeve still to this day, one of my top pet peeves at a buffet, person who can't wait to sit down before eating their food.
Oh,
person
drives me
picking
nuts.
off their tray while they're walking and they're eating.
I
It's
hate it.
really, you fat fuck, sit down. I mean, seriously, look at you.
You're fat shaming again because skinny people do it too.
Skinny, yes, fine. Anyone who does it I'll just call them a fat fuck as a term. But it's disgusting.
I mean, pull back on that thought. I'll avoid the mouth.
Oh, we have an announcement coming up. I hear an announcement.
Oh,
good
boy.
evening. This is our captain speaking. He's from the navigation bridge. I'd rather hear from somewhere else.
I can edit this out.
Casino bar.
But we should listen to him.
This unique place with spectacular beaches, coral reefs, and colorful
We've lost any
markets
listeners we
and
just had.
shops.
So.
No, I can edit this out.
Okay.
But he speaks out of order with his conjunctions and whatnot.
They're so, yeah. These are
To
so
have you
terrible.
back, I am glad. Welcome aboard the ship. We will sail away. It's just like there's little breaks in between the words. It's like,
yeah.
so it's going to be a bit, the waves will be very high on the evening, and we will fasten our belts. Like, he's trying to be funny. He's trying to bring some levity to it. It's
and they go on though. It's
yeah.
Oh God, they go on.
Well, you know what it is, because they're not operating the boat anymore. They just push. It's what they have the local pilot us out of the harbor, and then he leaves the ship, and the captain hits a button that says autopilot, and it just takes us to wherever we want to go. It's all operated by satellite. But the captain is trained. If the shit hits the fan,
he
the
jumps
captain,
first.
Yes, he jumps. He gets on the lifeboat first. Oh, now we have the cruise director.
Oh no! This
is gonna
cut.
this is gonna be
cut.
2 minutes, and then it'll be quiet again. They're gonna mention me.
Are you working tonight?
I have a show tonight.
Yeah.
I'm going to go have dinner in the dining room with one of the other entertainers.
Adult comedy tonight?
It is adult comedy, so I get to drop the S-bomb.
Good. Who are the other? Who are you on with?
So, a lot of musical groups. I'm on with a Canadian guitarist, musician, singer guy, Antonio La Rosa. He's very good. We're going to have dinner tonight in the dining room. Just the two of us are going to hold hands. I had to beat you to it.
Okay.
The ship next to us does not have that. We are proud to design
Ready?
Ducharme in a late night adult comedy where he's going to let it loose a little bit. We have this just 18 and older.
Oh, we're going to let it loose.
This isn't really a problem on this ship. But it's going to be some good laughs at 10:15 in the theater.
Talk about a build-up.
Wow, that was exciting. Yeah, he got everybody pumped for that. Jesus. So is this day 7 or are you leaving early?
This was a 6-day cruise. Was this a 6 or a 5? I don't even know. One was 6, one was 5. So I guess
the cruise is over tomorrow?
Yeah,
over.
This is the last night.
Once they close tonight, that is it.
Last night we both had the night off, and we went to the dining room and we ordered lobster, beef Wellington, shrimp cocktail, escargot, duck l'orange. We had wine. We were like whales coming out of there. But it was the best meal. We had the best meal of the entire week. All right. Sorry about the interruption, folks. Talking Dicks Comedy Podcast is back. Brought to you by Hanley Watches. HanleyWatches.com. If you want to look elegant without breaking the bank, HanleyWatches.com. I'm not wearing mine right now, but I am wearing.
I don't have one. I don't have one to wear. If I had
You're
one,
gonna get one.
I'd wear it.
Get one.
God
You're
damn
gonna
it.
get one.
Hey, what do you think of? What's your take on this? I saw this or had some last week, and I forgot how delicious it is. Hot sake. What do you think?
I've had it. I've had it. Now what I'm told is I've had both cold and hot, but someone told me that the Japanese men like cold sake, and I kind of like the hot.
I don't.
It's a preference.
I don't care for the cold, to be honest. But the hot sake, holy God, that was good. I hadn't had it in forever. And it was down in Clearwater Beach, walking around, little Japanese joint, and my girlfriend.
You got a girlfriend?
My girlfriend.
Al Romas has a girlfriend. He hasn't had a girlfriend in a very, very long time.
The bit that never gets old. And we went in, little sushi place, and hot sake, and goddamn, I love it. Right there, I wish we had Ubered, or I had Ubered, because I had driven, but I could sit there. I could sit at a sushi bar and drink hot sake for fucking hours. Just love it, and I hadn't had it in so long. Delish, man.
So, what is your choice that you go? Did you go this sashimi?
No, we didn't eat. We just went in. We were walking, and we just went in and had some hot sake. Had one little thing of, Did
it lead to anything else? Any hot?
I don't know what you mean.
Okay.
I don't know what you're implying.
All right. Okay.
I don't care for it. And
I'm being a little crass. I'm being a little.
And the answer was yes. So, and then we were at the cigar bar that I enjoy, and we're sitting there, and a big fat guy. And I'm sorry not to say fat again, but you know what I mean. Just a large man comes out, and he goes, "They kicked me out of there for saying fuck." I said fuck too many times. And I'm going, yeah, it's not why they kicked you out. It's just a big drunken moron. And they kicked me out for saying fuck. It's like, no, they didn't. Nope. You can say fuck as much as you want in there. You got kicked out because you're an asshole and you want to start a fight. And they asked him to sit outside. They go, just sit outside. You don't even have to go home. Just sit outside. And he sat down for about a minute and then got up and had to go back in because he, had to finish his business. And that's when we were like, I go, let's get out of here. I go, this is how this ends. This guy's 60 years old. He's going to go to jail tonight. You know what I mean? It was so obvious what was going to happen. That's
a bad marriage if you're willing to go to jail to spend a night away from your wife until you bailed out.
Yeah,
that's a lot of tension in that marriage.
I was in a bar one time when the guy wanted to fight, and I heard his wife or girlfriend go, "Not tonight. I'm not bailing you out tonight." like it was a weekly event for this couple.
That's true love.
I'm tired.
That's true love, though, that she's willing to stick with him and bail him out over and over again.
That is true love. No doubt about it.
That is definitely true love. That's how you measure it.
Yeah. So
you can't truly love somebody deep down from the bottom of your heart unless you know that person well and you're able to hate them 2 or 3 times a month without murdering them. That's the definition of true love.
Oh, that sounds like one of your wife's tweets. I think you might have stolen that. That sounds like a Bernie tweet right there. So I don't know. Was that an original or was that did you left a Bernie tweet right there?
Moving on. Moving on.
This week, you should do the same for our Patreon members. We want more Patreon members, of course, but the people we have, I'm going to be filming some stuff this week at Bassani's and putting it up on the Patreon page. Some behind the scenes,
Patreon members,
just some live stuff behind the scenes, and I think people want that. They want to see it. So I'm going to be posting stuff on Patreon behind the scenes at Bassani's Comedy Club, and maybe Alfred will do the same at his gig in wherever that gig is. I forget where you said you're performing. Palm Springs.
Palm Springs. Yes.
Oh.
I don't have the information handy.
Why not?
But
that's our business. That's what we do.
I'm ill prepared today, and I apologize.
Well, you're not going to.
I had to move to 3 different spots on the ship.
Yeah, no, that is work. It's not easy doing a podcast from the ship a lot of times. I did a couple outside, and you move around and people are looking at you, and it's a little awkward. Yeah.
Can you hear the noise in the background? They're bringing out the food. They're bringing out the food for dinner. So I'm in their space.
Right.
So I can't say, "Hey, quiet down." These
Well, you
guys
could
are working
say it.
7 days
You
a
could
week.
say it. I don't know if they'll understand it, but you could say it. You know, just go. Guys, I'm doing a podcast. I know you worked 18 hours already today, and you
I have a show tonight.
6 more, but you know, I'm doing a podcast now. I'd like you to be quiet for me. Thank you. Yeah. And what time is the show tonight, Alfred? Well, you have a late show?
It's the late show on the last night in the main theater at 10:15. It's a little late when you have 522 passengers on a 3,000 passenger ship.
They'll come out. I did it.
Yes.
The same thing. And they come out. They like
do.
you, and they want to hear you now.
They've already seen me. I did the WOB, which is, what does WOB stand for?
That's your welcome aboard show.
That is correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I've done a few.
Yeah. And again, it wasn't the most packed place, but now that they're all settled in, and it's one of the last things on their short cruise, they want to try to get their money's worth. So they do come out. Because I did the one last week, the same thing. I'm like, I'm gonna have like 10 people, but it actually, again, you get like 300 or 400. That's pretty good.
Pretty good during COVID cruising. That's why the Galveston cruises, let alone the crowds being a lot of fun, they turn out and they pack the theater. It's full.
Yep.
Steve McGrew and I were like, whoa, there's 900 people out there. Holy shit.
Yeah.
And seen that in 2 years, you know?
Yeah. When I was on the Equinox back in the end of August and early September, same thing. It was, they had like 12 or 1,500 people on board. So that we always had like 600-700. That's fantastic.
It is, man. It is. Yeah. I flew home Monday night, and Long Island to Tampa, which Southwest used to have direct flights, but no longer. Now you have to stop at BWI in Maryland and change planes. Which, again, I don't mind the mask so much, but when you've worn it on the plane and then you have it in the airport for 2+ hours, and then the other flight, So I just went into the diner and ordered, had something to eat and coffee and just kind of milked it, as long as you have something in front of you, no mask.
We're going to be flying back to Boston to do some gigs, and then we're going down to Virginia. And then our flight, we had an hour and 15-minute layover. Now it's turned into 4 hours. There's a short staffing. They canceled our flight.
Which airport is this? Where is the layover?
Philly.
Oh, Philly.
So Boston to Philly, Philly to Richmond.
You could rent a car and get there faster. I mean, without the expense, but Philly to Richmond.
Where do you go? Where do you go? You go to Gino's to get a steak sandwich?
No, I go to the other joint, not Gino's. What's the other one? Pat's. I go to Pat's.
I go to Gino's because Gino is a big comedy fan, and he's come to many of my shows.
Really?
Yeah.
Where
he's
did he
the
come
son.
to your shows?
They named the sandwich place after him.
Really? You know this guy?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Atlantic City. He'd come to the comedy stop at the Tropicana.
Wow. I never met him. I did that club a billion times. I never met any Gino or Pat.
Yep.
There's one of those little flies here.
He'd bring sandwiches because it's an hour away, and he'd bring them to the green room.
I'd rather the guy who owns the White Horse, whatever that was.
The White House.
Remember that? White House. Holy
You're
shit,
thinking of the White
subs.
Horse Turnpike, which is not far away from the White House sandwich shop.
That's right. That's what I was thinking of.
That's an institution.
Oh, it's fantastic. If you've never been, folks, go. And they have pictures of everybody, every celeb in the world has been there eating. And those things are massive, delicious. There's a fruit fly in my room, and he's determined to get in some of this shitty coffee that I have. He is very attracted to this garbage powder cream coffee, and I'm going to let him have it. I'm just going to push
Maybe
the
he's
cup
attracted
away.
to you, and that's why he's a fruit fly and not a regular fly.
Oh, damn. All right. Well, I'll take it. This podcast.
It's the best fruit fly joke I could come up with under the circumstances.
This volume 159 seems like a struggle, so we'll take a fruit fly joke.
It's just to get us through the holiday.
Yes. Yes. So wait,
Although,
so Monday this airs. What is that? That's Oh, that's 3 days before Thanksgiving. Okay, so when this is airing, it's Thanksgiving week. Thanksgiving week. Yeah. All right. What's the matter now?
I'm covering the mic. There's a lot of background noise right now.
You gotta see this on Patreon, folks. I thought Al just cut one and couldn't take the smell of it. He's covering his nose, his mouth. Now he looks like he's now he looks like he's about 94 years old, getting oxygen. He's got his headphone wrapped around his face and sitting in front of a "I love New York" sign. That thing hasn't been used.
Houston, we have a problem. Okay, it's all cleared up now. I was bringing the mic closer so that I could cuff my.
And it looks a little bit like a litter box behind you from here. You're back. You're behind you. I don't know what that is on the floor.
Poster.
No, under the poster. It looks like a litter box.
That's the floor and the rug right here. But you're right. It does. It looks like that. Looks like I'm in a big cat box.
Big pussy came in there and took a dump.
That was the follow-up joke to the fruit fly joke.
The big pussy joke.
We lost another Patreon member. Great.
Yeah, of course. Damn it, Jim.
Damn it, Jim.
Yeah. So I those are my notes. I got nothing. I don't know what else you got, but
we got to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Come on.
Happy Thanksgiving. And yeah, did we have a video or anything from last year or the year before? Do we have any two dicks Thanksgiving type?
No, we did Halloween and we did Christmas. We didn't do one for Thanksgiving.
No, we didn't do for Thanksgiving. So we'll have to get on that next year. We'll work on that.
Maybe we'll make it this year and then we'll have it.
Are we going to do it this year? It's less than a week away. No, it's a week away from the recording day. So it'd be tough. It's tough. Everything, this is not easy, folks. When we haven't been in person in 2 years. Is it now? When was the last time we were in person? Yeah. I think 2 years.
I think it will be 2 years, December, correct?
I think you're right. I think that was the last time that's when we did the Christmas vid.
My Christmas video at your bachelor pad.
Right. My old one.
That was December 2019.
Oh my God. Wow.
But yet you and I have been together twice a week for the entire pandemic so far on this Zoom.
True. And Facebook originally on Facebook. If you want to see those, they're on Patreon now. Each week we're releasing an oldie.
We're supposed to release a video version every month and a half or so for civilians that are not Patreon members. But we haven't been doing that.
What do you mean we're supposed to? I don't know.
We had at one of our meetings that we had, we said every 6 weeks, let's release a video.
Right.
So the ordinary Joe can have a look and decide if they want to join our Patreon.
For $5 a month, I'm saying fuck the ordinary Joe. You know what I mean? I'm drinking ordinary Joe right here, and it sucks. You know what I'm saying?
Don't have to be extraordinary to be a Patreon member to help support the Talking Dicks Comedy Podcast, which also feeds the Talking Dicks web series, which will be starting up again. And we've already spent. I think we spent about $12,000. We'd like to recoup some of that money.
Yeah. And like I said, you're going to, if you're listening to us, you like comedy, comedians, and we're going to be doing these behind the scenes stuff coming on Patreon only, clips of the show and various things. So you'll want to see it. And for $5 a month, what the hell? Why not? Mm-hmm. Why not do it? Doesn't make sense not to. I don't think, especially if you're listening in Rangoon.
In Rangoon, well, we're pretty big, by the way.
Huge.
But also, that money will also pay for our transportation so that you and I, because we live on different coasts will help us
And
be in the same room.
And maybe we both pick up a groundskeeper with some of that money and clean it up a little bit down there. Get some dude wipes, a groundskeeper, and it's Merry Christmas to the dicks.
That's a shame that we're ending on manscaping just before Thanksgiving for these folks, but that's just the way it works here sometimes. So please enjoy your cranberry, your stuffing, and the gravy, and that tryptophan. Is that what it's called?
Tryptophan. That's the stuff that puts you to sleep. Am I right on that?
Kind of like this episode.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mary.
Don't forget to review us and rate us. It really helps.
The Talking Dicks became friends at a very young age, and the rest is history.
I'm losing my mind.
Patreon.com/The2Dicks, which is named after our web series. This is the Talking Dicks Comedy Podcast. Thanks for tuning in.
What?
Done.
I didn't kill my wife. I don't care.
We'll fix it in post, you son of a bitch.
Okay, sure.
All right. Subscribe. Mary.
Go to patreon.com/The2Dicks.
If you shoot me, you won't see a cent of that money. Why?
I think it ends on that. That's beautiful.